The Hanseatic League was once an unrivaled group of merchant guilds that ruled the Baltic coastline. They played a big part in weakening the Vikings and the economical development of Northern Europe during the late Middle Ages and early modern period. The name Hansa comes from a German word that means convoy, and merchants living in wealthy cities started to create guilds or Hansa with the intention to trade with other cities. Their targets were especially the less developed eastern Baltics, where they could obtain goods like timber and furs for a cheap price. The towns in which the merchants were working soon started to raise their own armies, with the guilds required to provide levies when needed. Thus the Hanseatic League was born. The League was created to protect the guild's economic interests, diplomatic privileges and trade routes. It had its own armies and laws for a mutual protection, but despite all of this, it would be wrong to call it a city-state or confederation, since only a few of the cities could actually enjoy full autonomy or work as a free city. Lübeck's strategical position gave the League access for trade with all of Scandinavia and Russia, and competition arose with Scandinavia that was only ended after a treaty with the Visby Hansa. From 1356 and onwards, the League grew from 70 to 170 cities, and they started building trading posts all around the Baltic. In the late 15th century, the Hansa started its downfall, with both Poland and Russia becoming stronger and closing down Hanseatic trade routes. It had a bunch of internal struggle and new mercantile rivals arose. Only 9 members attended the last formal meeting in 1669, and only 3 remained as members until its final demise in 1862, with the creation of the German Empire. It was early winter in the year of 1444. The Hanseatic League had gone through some rough times and lost some of its former power. The current leader, Otto, was facing a lot of hard decisions, and if he didn't act fast it could be too late. The rival state of Saxe-Lauenburg had long been hungering to attack Lübeck, and Mecklenburg to the east had on several occasions shown signs of hostility. Long relationships and alliances was breaking apart as the Hanseatic League was breaking apart. Otto is known to have been a man of action, and as he prepared for the inevitable war against Saxe-Lauenburg, he sent a diplomat to improve relationships with the Habsburgs. At this time, being friendly or allied with the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire would be a tremendous help, both militaristic and diplomatic, and the leader of Lübeck understood this. The 25th of July 1444, Otto declared war on Saxe-Lauenburg in a preemptive strike, catching their entire army off guard and unprepared, and only a few days after the attack, the entirety of the Lauenburgian army was either dead or deserters. Even so, the war went on for almost a year until the formal surrender came, and all of the titles and lands of Saxe-Lauenburg was now under Lübeck's control. This was a great victory, but short-lived, as the diplomats trying to improve relations with the Habsburgs had failed, and the emperor demanded the release of Saxe-Lauenburg. Otto refused to these demands, and tensions between neighboring states and the emperor worsened. With the rivals to the south dealt with, Otto could focus on the League and the member states. Historians have found letters between Lübeck and the small states of Anhalt and Friesland, revealing their plans to join the Trade League. Many theories exist on why Anhalt was given membership, but the most common one is that it was a defensive move to protect against the militaristic country of Brandenburg. Scandinavia was also struggling, and Denmark was desperately trying to keep the Kalmar Union alive. Sweden declared its own independence and a war broke out. Lithuania, a long-time rival of Denmark, joined the Swedish forces, and together they could push the Danes back. Otto saw his chance in this new power and sent diplomats to suggest an alliance to the new Swedish king. But before Otto's wish to ally Sweden came true, he was replaced at an election. The new ruler, Reinhard Goslar, was a veteran of war and a shrewd tactician. The Republic knew that with so much turmoil in Europe, a militaristic leader was needed to survive. Reinhard's first contribution to the League was to finally secure an alliance with Sweden, and later he befriended the Pope himself. He knew the importance of religious unity and the benefits of being on the same side as the Church. The 16th of June 1453, Reinhard ordered an attack on Lüneburg to further grow the southern borders. This was however not the main goal. What Reinhard was actually after was the region of Stralsund, currently under control by Pomerania. But due to Pomerania's huge alliance, a direct attack on them would have been devastating. He still needed some help to win the war, and Hamburg was promised lands if they participated. Little did they know that Reinhard had no intention to deliver on that promise. The army of Lüneburg was annihilated at the very beginning of the war, sending it into a stalemate where armies from both lands dug into Mecklenburgian lands while a small force sieged Lüneburg. The war reached its critical point when a joint assault by Hamburg and Lübeck crushed the Pomeranians' defensive lines and invaded their entire country, plundering and razing everything in their path. The 31st of July 1455 the war ended, with Lüneburg being completely annexed and Stralsund under Lübeck control. Now Reinhard was waiting for the Swedish armies to recover for the eventual assault on Denmark to end the Sound toll. Thanks for watching the first episode of my Lübeck playthrough. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you liked the material, and if you didn't, I'm sorry I wasted your time. Fullbordad out. Bye.